Welcome to the Parent Guardian training for the Iowa's Students First Act ESA program. I'm Christine from Odyssey. Let's get started. First, let's go over the agenda for today's training. We're going to cover what is an ESA, followed by a close look at the Iowa's Students First Act ESA eligibility criteria. After that, we're going to look at some important dates and times for parents and guardians to be aware of, and we'll take a look page by page at the Parent Guardian application. Following that, we'll review how Odyssey verifies eligibility. Then we'll wrap it up by covering how you can use your ESA funds for the Iowa's Students First Act ESA program. And we'll end with information on the Odyssey customer support team. So first, what is an ESA? An ESA is an acronym for Education Savings Account. An ESA holds funds for an eligible student until they are spent on eligible education expenses. Each state that has ESAs have different rules and guidelines as determined by law. Please note that applying for enrollment to an Iowa-accredited non-public school is a separate process from applying for an ESA through the Odyssey platform. Non-public school enrollment is unrelated to the Students First Act ESA application and is strictly between the family and the school. Now, let's take a look at the Iowa's Students First Act ESA. For the Iowa's Students First Act ESA, funds must first be used to pay accredited non-public school tuition and fees. Any remaining funds can then be used to pay for other eligible educational expenses. I'll repeat that because it is an important part of the Iowa's Students First Act ESA. All funds must first be used to pay for accredited non-public school tuition and fees. Only after that has happened can any remaining funds then be used to pay for other eligible educational expenses. And we'll take a look at what are eligible and ineligible education expenses towards the end of this presentation. So let's take a look at ESA eligibility criteria for the Iowa's Students First Act ESA. In order to be eligible, a student must first be an Iowa resident. That student must also enroll in and attend an Iowa-accredited non-public school for the upcoming 2024 to 2025 school year. If that student previously attended an Iowa-accredited non-public school for the 2023 to 2024 school year and did not receive an ESA, an income check will be required. For our returning participating students, a student who was approved for and used an ESA in the 2023 to 2024 school year is not subject to household income requirements for the 2024 to 2025 school year. The income check will look at the household income to verify that it is at or below 400% of the 2024 federal poverty guidelines, which, for example, is $124,800 for a family of 4. Parent Guardian timeline. Let's cover some important dates and times that parents and guardians should be aware of. Parent Guardian applications open on Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. Parent Guardian applications will remain open until they close on June 30th, 2024. During the months of May, June, and July, verification is ongoing. That means that parents, through an automated and manual process, are finding out about their status. Finally, the important date at the end of the slide is the first day for approved ESAs to be funded. That is July 15th, 2024, or 30 days after the application approval, whichever is later. Let's cover those again because they are important dates. Again, applications open on Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. They will remain open until the end of the month on June 30th, 2024. During that time and into July, verification will be ongoing. Finally, the first day for approved ESAs to be funded is July 15th, 2024, or 30 days after application approval, whichever is later. Now, let's have an introduction and take a look step by step at the Parent Guardian application. For our students continuing the ESA program, annual ESA applications are required for all prospective ESA participants. A student who was approved for and used an ESA in the 2023 to 2024 school year is not subject to household income requirements for the 2024 to 2025 school year. Lastly, a parent or guardian will use the same email address and password to log into their account and complete the 2024 to 2025 application. The first screen that greets parents and guardians is the login screen. Here, parents can create a parent account if they do not already have one, or as a returning user, can log into their accounts by providing their email address and password. They also need to agree with the language below the text box that states, by signing up, I understand that Odyssey needs to gather and share information about each child for which I seek an ESA and for each claim I make against that child's ESA. I give my consent to Odyssey to gather and share information necessary to implement my child's participation in the ESA program, including with the Iowa Department of Education and with the accredited non-public schools and providers serving my child. I understand my child will not be able to participate in the Students First Act ESA program if I refuse to grant my consent to Odyssey to gather and share necessary information. Once the login or parent account creation screen has been completed, parents and guardians can begin the application form. The first page asks for parent or guardian information. We start with contact information. There, the parent or guardian provides their legal first name, legal middle name if applicable, and legal last name. Following that, we ask them to provide their email address, phone number, and preferred language. Please note that English is the default preferred language, but Spanish is also available. After that, we collect address information. Here, parents input their current residential address. Please note that if a different address was used in the 2023 Iowa State tax return, we ask that the parent or guardian check the box and input that address information. After that, parents and guardians are greeted with the household information. Here, they are able to add information for each student for whom an ESA is being requested. We'll look at exactly what information we ask for that next. Finally, please note that there's an update and save feature, which allows you to start an application, input information, save, exit, and return later to complete that application at your convenience. Student application. Here, we're asking parents and guardians to enter in their student's legal name and date of birth, as well as their address. If the address is the same as parent and guardian, we ask that the parent or guardian leave the box clicked next to that statement. If it is not accurate, then we ask the parent or guardian to leave that unchecked and input the proper student address. Parents and guardians can also add students by clicking Add Students in the green box. In the case where a student needs to be removed, a button with the option to remove the student will appear both below and above. We also ask for the information for the previous 2023 to 24 school year of the student. We ask parents to agree yes or no with the following statement. Did the student attend an Iowa accredited non-public school in the 2023 to 2024 school year for any grade between kindergarten and 12th? If the student is eligible to enroll in kindergarten for the 2024 to 2025 school year, please select no. Once the student application information has been input, we then move on to the program eligibility portion. Here, we ask that parents enter their individual tax identification number or their social security number in order to verify program eligibility. If you filed your 2023 Iowa State tax return on married status, either jointly or separately, you must include the spouse's information in order to proceed with the application. Please note that there is an option that indicates you did not file a 2023 Iowa State tax return. If that is the case, please select the checkbox next to that statement. For everyone else, they'll be greeted with the following screenshot where they need to input the parent-guardian ID type. Once again, social security number or individual taxpayer identification number. Following that, they'll add the spouse's tax identification number, if relevant, and the spouse's legal first name, legal last name, ID type, and identification number. Please note that this information will be used to verify Iowa residency and in some cases, verify income with the Iowa Department of Revenue. Consents and approvals. Here, we ask parents and guardians to review each individual statement and check the box to affirm their understanding and agreement. The first section is entitled Guardianship Checks. We ask that parents and guardians agree with the following two statements. The first reads as follows: I have the legal authority to request an education savings account for the student in this application. The second statement reads as follows: I confirm the student included in this application have not been claimed on another application. After that, we ask parents and guardians to agree to a site release. The site release states as follows: the state of Iowa and Odyssey may share information to verify my application information. Next, we have a communication consent. Here, we're asking parents and guardians to select at least one communication preference in order to proceed. We give parents and guardians 3 options. They can opt in to receive text communications, email communications, or phone call communications. Once again, please note the parents and guardians must select one of these in order to proceed with the application. Parent-guardian acknowledgements. Here, we're asking parents and guardians to review each individual statement and check the box to affirm their understanding and agreement. Please note all boxes must be checked in order to proceed. Once that has happened, we ask the parent or guardian to sign electronically and click Submit Application when completed. Congratulations! At this point, the parent-guardian application has been successfully submitted. Please note the majority of applications will be approved through the automatic approval process. This process will make approval simple, straightforward, and easy for parents. The first application status that parents can expect to see is pending after it has been submitted. Shortly after, a status that many parents and guardians can expect to see is the approved status. The approved status will be shown in a scenario such as follows. A parent or guardian applies for a student who attended a non-public school in 2023 to 2024. They received an ESA for 2023 and 2024, and the household's 2023 Iowa state tax return verified residency. Therefore, the parents and guardians would receive an approved status for this particular student. Another scenario would be that the student did not attend an Iowa accredited non-public school in 2023 to 2024. The 2023 Iowa state tax return verified residency. Therefore, the parents and guardians would receive an approved status for that particular student. A third example would be where parents and guardians apply for a student who attended an Iowa accredited non-public school in the 2023 to 2024 school year. Using the information in the application, we were able to verify both residency and income in the 2023 Iowa state tax return. In this case, the parent and guardian would receive an approved status for that particular student. Another status that parents and guardians may see is the not eligible status. This would occur in the following scenario. Parents and guardians apply for a student who previously attended an Iowa accredited non-public school in 2023 to 2024 and did not have an ESA for that year. Then the 2023 Iowa state tax return may have verified residency, but the 2023 Iowa state tax return did not verify income eligibility. Therefore, they would receive a not eligible status. This screen shows what an application status of pending looks like, which, as previously mentioned, is the first status parents will receive. This status will be as such for just a few moments. Typically, the application is updated with responses within a few seconds to minutes of submission. Again, income verification will only be completed for students who attended an Iowa-accredited non-public school and did not receive an ESA in 2023 to 2024. This screen shows what an application status of approved looks like. Applying for enrollment to an Iowa-accredited non-public school is a separate process from applying for an ESA through the Odyssey platform. Non-public school enrollment is unrelated to the Students First Act ESA application and is strictly between the family and the school. A student's application status appears behind their name. What is new for this year is that as soon as the application status is changed to approved, parents can select the school each student plans to attend for the 2024 to 2025 school year. Application status under review. This status will apply to uncommon scenarios where additional documentation for manual review may be required. I do want to emphasize that the majority of parents and guardians will go through the automatic approval process. So these are for uncommon scenarios, as stated previously, that parents and guardians may encounter. The first status that they could see would be an additional documentation required. Certain documentation may be requested, which can be uploaded on the dashboard. This would happen in a scenario such as follows, where the system would be unable to verify income, unable to verify residency, or both. A common reason why this might happen is for a new applicant, a 2023 Iowa state tax return was not filed or could not be verified. In this case, we would be unable to verify income and unable to verify residency. Therefore, the parent or guardian would receive an additional documentation required status for that particular student. The other status would be under manual review. This is a status where the application was unable to be verified automatically as well. If the automated process is unable to confirm eligibility, Odyssey will prompt the parent or guardian to upload additional documentation. The next slide will show you how. If you are requested to upload documents, click on the link that will bring you to this page, detailing options for acceptable documentation. We will go into more detail on this later. However, documents can be uploaded by clicking on or dragging and dropping files directly into the Upload Documents box. File types that are accepted are PNG, GIF, JPEG, PDF, DOC, and DocX. Clicking Upload will return you to the dashboard, where you can see that your documents have successfully been uploaded. Once documents have already been uploaded to the Odyssey portal, the Odyssey team will manually review them. If additional documentation is required, Odyssey will contact the parent or guardian. After a student's application status has been approved, the parent or guardian will be able to select the school and grade of the student for the upcoming school year. Applying for enrollment to an Iowa-accredited non-public school is a separate process from applying for an ESA through the Odyssey platform. Immediately after being approved, the parent or guardian will select their student's 2024 to 2025 school. Please note, again, non-public school enrollment is unrelated to the Students First ESA application and is strictly between the family and the school. For each student, please select the school, grade, and click Submit. It is possible a newly accredited school for the 2024 to 2025 school year may not yet be available to select immediately. If this is the case, you may select Cancel or return to your dashboard. More newly accredited schools for the 2024 to 2025 school year may be added. At this point, the parent or guardian has completed all the necessary steps at this time. Let's talk about how Odyssey verifies eligibility. Odyssey has worked with the Iowa Department of Revenue to set up a system connection to automatically determine Iowa residency and, in some cases, income eligibility through each applicant's 2023 Iowa state tax return. We plan for this to verify the majority of applicants. If additional documentation is needed, and additional verification is needed, the Odyssey system will request a parent or guardian to upload additional verification docs to show Iowa residency and/or income eligibility. We'll take a look at what documents are appropriate in just one moment. If additional residency verification is needed, the system will prompt the parent or guardian to upload additional verification documents. Examples of acceptable residency verification documentation is provided before you. The first acceptable option is to provide a current Iowa driver's license. A second option is to provide proof of a current mortgage, lease, utility bill, and one of the following: an Iowa voter registration card, a claim of homestead credit or military tax exemption on a home in Iowa, an active checking or savings account with an Iowa address, or other documents and correspondence initiated during tax periods with an Iowa address. Finally, parents and guardians may be able to submit a written and signed narrative from the parent or guardian, including a stated claim of Iowa residency and related documentation reflecting that residency. In the case where additional income verification is needed, the system will prompt the parent or guardian to upload additional verification documents. Examples of income verification documentation are provided before you. The first option is the 2023 Iowa State Tax Return, or another state or federal 2023 tax return for residents who are new to Iowa. If documents listed in option 1 are not available, please provide documentation from either options 2, 3, or 4. These other options include proof of enrollment in an Iowa program that has an income eligibility below the ESA income threshold. Eligible programs include SNAP, Child Care Assistance, Cash Assistance, or Iowa Medicaid. Documentation includes notice of decision from Iowa HHS or an image of a SNAP card with a matching parent, guardian name. Another option is a most recent pay stub for both parents or both guardians and a letter for each employer from each employer verifying the annual income for the employee. Finally, parents and guardians may be able to provide a written and signed narrative from them, including a stated claim of net income and household size and related documentation proving that income and/or household size. School attendance. Please note that schools are required to inform Odyssey if an invoice was submitted for a student who did not attend that school. This could happen in the following scenario. Tuition was billed to Odyssey on July 15th. School started August 23rd, but the student did not attend. Students are not eligible for an ESA if they did not attend an Iowa-accredited non-public school. ESA funds must be returned by the school for the semester in which the student did not attend. ESA ineligibility does not absolve individuals from financial obligations that they may have directly entered into with a non-public school or any other vendor. How can I use my ESA funds? ESA funds, as previously indicated, must first be used to pay for accredited non-public school tuition and fees. After tuition and fees, the remaining ESA funds can be used to pay for other eligible educational expenses. We'll take a look at some examples of both eligible and ineligible expenses in a moment, but there is a list on the ESA eligible and ineligible expenses that is available on the Department of Education's ESA webpage. Eligible expenses. Beyond tuition and fees for Iowa accredited non-public schools, examples of eligible expenses are provided below. Microsoft Office and Adobe products, laptops, desktops, and tablets, textbooks, tutoring, and course materials. A list of ESA eligible and ineligible expenses is available on the Department of Education's ESA webpage. Some examples of ineligible expenses are personal bags such as backpacks, a laptop bag, or purses. Clothing, uniform, and hats are also ineligible. Basic school supplies: paper, glue, pens, pencils, cleaning supplies, childcare, including before and after school care, as well as camps, such as summer, winter, holiday, and athletic, are also examples of ineligible expenses. Once again, a list of ESA eligible and ineligible expenses is available on the Department of Education's ESA webpage. So how do I spend my ESA funds? Purchases with ESA funds can only be made through the Odyssey Marketplace. Any purchases made outside of the Odyssey Marketplace are ineligible and will not be reimbursed. What is the Odyssey Marketplace? The Odyssey Marketplace is a closed marketplace with eligible vendors, products, and service offerings specifically approved for Iowa's Students First Act ESA program. Examples of Odyssey Marketplace vendors include Iowa's accredited non-public schools, bookstores, computer stores, educational therapies, tutoring, local and national vendors are also examples. Odyssey Support Team. Customer support availability. Please contact and reach out to Odyssey for help with any technical issues. We have a fantastic, experienced support team that has worked before with parents and vendors and schools to help answer their questions and troubleshoot any issues. We provide service in both English and Spanish on phone, chat, and email. Our hours are as follows. Monday through Friday, customer support is available via phone, chat, and email from 7 a.m. Central to 9 p.m. Central. On the weekends, we're available Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. Central through 4 p.m. Central. If you find yourself with questions regarding your application, please contact the Odyssey support team at help.ia@withodyssey.com or give us a call at 515-368-9564. This slide deck is also available on the Iowa Department of Education Students First Act ESA webpage. Thank you for watching our Parent Guardian training for the Iowa Students First Act ESA program. We look forward to working with you in the next weeks and months.